Okay, Neil Schwartz, Mastermind, last Mastermind of the year. And I decided to talk about how you can get business now. All right. I don't want to talk about 24. I don't want to talk about your goals for 24. I'm convinced there's still ways to generate business right now. And just to, so I wrote down a question. Let's start with this. If you had done most of what your coaches or trainers or manager or broker had suggested you do from the beginning of 23 until now, would you probably have done more business? If yes, put a 1 in the chat box. If no, put a 2. If yes, put a 1. If no, put a 2. So I only see 1s right now, so no 2s. Good job. All right. So there's a lot of different reasons why we don't do it, but I'm not going to talk about those per se today. What I want to talk about is things that I believe you can do today, right after this call, and you can do every day for the next 2 or 3 weeks that will either generate you leads or generate appointments or generate buyers or generate sellers that if and when you follow up on will generate commission checks for you, which means that when you do the activities on a daily basis, you're going to get business. Am I making sense? All right. So I only want to talk about what can happen right now. So let's talk about, first of all, is there business out there? So I did a little bit of survey before you guys came on, and I'll just read off the names of the people that were here at the time. Hannah got some for rent by owner lead today, correct, Hannah?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. And Marcos, you ended up with 2 or 3 leads from prospecting today, correct?
That's right.
Okay. And Vanessa, you picked up some leads from prospecting this morning?
Yes, correct.
And it was actually on the subject of for rent by owners, which is what we taught in the role play class today, why to do it and what's the long and the short of it, correct? Have you ever made those phone calls before, Vanessa?
No, excuse me. No, I have never made those phone calls.
Okay. And you made the phone calls and ended up setting an appointment, right?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Today, which I'm very excited about. Correct.
We taught you the lesson today, this morning, 3-4 hours ago, and you took action on it. This is the point I'm trying to make to everyone on this call right now. You can take one of these ideas. Don't try to do all of them today, okay? But you can take these ideas and set appointments and then follow up on those appointments and get business. Miriam, you've been working to past client and Sphere. Tess, you got 2 leads today from phone calling, correct? Jack Ma hasn't phone called today yet, but he got a listing appointment from some follow-up that he did last night, listing appointment and a listing from follow-up that he did last night. Are you getting the message, you guys? There's business out there if you will go after it. Questions on that part first?
The more I work, the luckier I get.
Sorry?
See, the more I work during the holidays, the luckier I get.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. I wrote down here that the world is full of opportunities. Your limits are only your opinion. And we know you can change your opinion anytime we want. So I want to say this to you. In my book, failure is not hitting your goal, because sometimes we think when we don't hit our goal, we're failures, so therefore we stop doing what we're supposed to be doing. Failure is not hitting your goal. Failure is not doing the activities necessary on a day-to-day basis to accomplish your goals. There is no shame in not hitting your goal. I said that, and it's true. There's no shame in not hitting your goal. The shame is not doing the work required to accomplish it. And ladies and gentlemen, for that, there is no excuse. That's why you're not doing the amount of business that you want to do. So I'm going to take all of that away from you. I absolve you from all the guilt right now. And what I want you to do is do what you're supposed to do every work day between now and the first of the year. For you overachievers, you can do it between now and the first day of the productivity retreat. Okay? You guys with me on this? And don't worry about it. Everybody says, well, Neil, the ideas you're going to give us, everybody else is going to have the same idea, and they're going to go out and do the for rent by owners. Hey, when you do for rent by owners, Hannah, how many people, because you've been doing this for a while, right?
Yes.
About how many do you have in your list so far? Have you created? More or less.
I would say probably around 150.
Okay, great. And those 100, have you ever run into too many agents that are competing on the same conversation with you with some of these sellers?
No, not really.
No. Okay. But I've been sharing this idea for a long time, right? So
True.
My point here is, don't think the 52 people that are here are going to go out and door knock for rent by owners or phone call for rent by owners. I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret. Nobody's going to do it because they think everybody's doing it. It's true. Vanessa, you started today. Don't stop.
I'm not going to stop. I'm really not.
Good
I
job.
think this is going to be a gold mine, to be honest.
Absolutely. So what
And
I'm gonna do-
also easy calls too.
it's
I
an
found
easy
it to be
call,
very-
right?
Yeah. It's like calling, circle calling.
It's a very easy thing. And all these owners have a need. They need to rent out the place. If you can help them, great. If you can't, keep in touch with them, because a year from now, that property is going to come up for rent again. So you set the calendar for 9 months and you call them again and say, hey, we talked in the past, yada, yada, yada. And if you want to set up some kind of a little drip campaign and be their resource on what they should charge in rent, you can do that too. All right. I think, Hannah, you're doing
Good
that,
idea.
right?
Yes.
Great. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to go down a list right now of areas that you can get business in. Some of our top agents are getting business today in those areas. Certainly for rent by owner is one of them. And you're interested in learning more about that, we can do a little. In fact, what I'm going to do is at our role play classes once a week now, I'm going to take one of these scripts and explain how you can make money with that script, as an example of what we did with the for rent by owner today. Okay, so write this down. No particular order. This is where people are getting business from. If you're not working on it, you should implement it. Choose 1 or 2 or 3 to start implementing today. Do not end today without implementing 1, 2, or 3 of these activities. The first one I wrote down here is set up from the MLS to get in real time canceled information. Meaning, when a listing gets canceled, some of you are on lead lists like that come from Arch, et cetera, or Vulcan. Those lists that are generated, you get those canceled leads the next morning. Okay, they might cancel today, but you get the lead the next morning. What you need to do is set up the multiple listing service, and almost every one of you that is on MRMLS can do this. And every time a listing gets canceled, it gets canceled in real time on the MLS. You don't have to wait 24 hours to get it. So you can get your system set up and make sure that you get that information as soon as it cancels. As soon as it cancels, you need to call them or run over to the house and knock on the door. Now, you don't want to make that area so big that you can't do that, but you make that area of cancels in your basic area. Does that make sense? Everybody with me on this? How to do it? Not my job. Get your broker, get your manager, call the MLS. Okay, they can help you. In our company, Robert and Jesse can help you with that. That's number one. Number two, this is a very intense idea on working past client and sphere. All right. So everyone calls their past client sphere, and they say to us they call their past client sphere. They tell us all the time, oh, I called them already, or I talked to them already. And let's say you have 200 past client sphere in your database, and it's real. The number of people that you open your stuff and get your phone call on any given month or two is somewhere around 30%. Okay, that's the fact. That's the number. So you have 200 in your database, 30% you connect with. So you connect with 60 people. Now, what happens to the other 120 you didn't talk to or didn't read your stuff? They go to the wayside, and you really don't talk to them, and you're wondering why you don't get more business out of your database. You don't get more business out of your database because you're not touching everyone in your database. So here's an interesting idea. We've had a few agents do it with high success. It's a little tedious, but now's a great time to do it. Here's what you do. You print out a full page copy of every past client and sphere in your database. One page per name and phone number. One page, not one line, one page. And you stack all those people up on your left side, face up. And then you start calling. You take the first one off the top. You read the phone number. You can either call off of your CRM, or you could just dial the phone number, and you dial, and you either talk to the person or you don't talk to the person. If you talk to the person, write down the notes and put that in one stack in front of you. If you don't talk to the person, write, no talk, and goes into a third stack. So now you have 3 stacks going. One stack of stuff you haven't talked to yet, second stack of people you have talked to and some notes, and a third stack of people you haven't talked to. And your job is to go down that stack of 200 until you physically called every single person in the 200. Now you have 2 stacks again. One stack you didn't talk to, and one stack you did talk to. Guess what you're going to do now? Turn over the stack of people you didn't talk to and call them again. Just start through the stack one more time. You're probably going to talk to 30% of those people. Get it? You see what's going on here? And you keep doing that until you have no one left in the I didn't talk to anybody stack. That means that you talk to every person in the 200. If you don't talk to them, then you have to make a business decision. Do I keep them in plan in area C like Jack does, or do I throw them out? But can you imagine if you talk to every single one of your clients over the next 2 or 3 weeks? Would that be powerful and intense? Yes or no? All right, put a 1 in the chat box if you think you would generate business because of that. Listing sales, listing sold, something. A 1 if you think that you could generate business from that idea. Okay, so now we have 3 ideas that you could get business from today. 1, setting up your MLS to real-time cancel. And let me tell you something. Why do people cancel their listings with the agent they're working with? Anyone?
It's not selling.
Didn't sell.
They're not happy.
They're not happy, and they're
Communication.
firing the agent. They fire. Canceled means you're fired. Get it? Now, they might fire you nicely, but the odds of you ever getting that listing again is almost zero. All right? So don't get canceled. How do you not get canceled? Different conversation. All right? But right now, that's an opportunity to get business. The second one is set up your past client sphere in a stack and start calling them. Call. Don't text. Don't voicemail. Just call through that 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, whatever it takes. And then the third one was, we already talked about a little bit, was for rent by owners. Questions on any of those three? Put a 2 in the chat box if you think one of those three could get you business between now and the end of the year. Come on, let's go. Quick. Put a 2 if any one of those three could get you business before the end of the year. All right, good job. Next one. Go see all old and new expireds at the door. Why at the door, everybody?
Better
Face to
report.
face.
No one else is doing
No
it.
one else is.
No one else is doing it. Some people might be calling. Some people might be calling that are pretty good, but almost no one is going out to the door. And I suggest you make it your business if it's in your geographic area, the area that's your primary work area, that you go back to the door and look to meet that expired every single day, 2, 3 times a day until you meet that expired in your market. Intense focus. We talked about leads this morning, just a little bit ago, half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago, about where business was coming from. And a few of the appointments, a few of the listings were coming from expireds. Expireds work when you do, but you have to not just make phone calls. All you're doing is upsetting them and frustrating them, okay? Go knock on the door. Go make sure you meet them in person, eyeball to eyeball, and then door knock 10 houses around each one. Actually, let me share with you, the door knock 10 houses around each one is actually how you make money on that process. You will get some expireds. You will get some expired business, but you will get more business from door knocking 10 houses around the expireds and 10 houses around the old expireds and 10 houses around previewing property, which I probably didn't even go over yet. You have 5 different ways to get business that I've just talked about in what? 20 minutes? 5 ways. All of them will get you business. All of them have gotten agents on this call business today and generated leads and appointments today. None of them is brain surgery. None of them are anything you can't do. If you don't know what to say and how to say it, hey, we're doing role play every morning, 8 o'clock, show up. No judgment, no harm. You actually learn things, right? Hello? Anybody learn anything at role play?
Yes.
Yes.
You know what? Put a 3 in the chat box if you guys are learning things from the role play classes. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Good job. We talked about the for sale by owners, so I'll go past that one. Non-owner occupied investors. Non-owner occupied investors. You can get it from the title company. You can call the title company today. They're not busy. Why? Because the real estate agents aren't busy. They're out doing parties. Non-owner occupied investors in your primary market that don't live in California or in the state you live in. Non-owner occupied, out of state. Okay, that's probably better said. Non-owner occupied, out of state. Why? Because people who move out of state get forgotten faster by their real estate agent than clients that move in the state, and they don't get remembered either. Real estate agents are notoriously terrible at following up with their clients. New category, notoriously terrible. Okay? By the way, when I say to you they're notoriously terrible, does that ring a bell for opportunity for any of you? I would spend my time. I just thought of this idea as we're talking. We're not going to do it. But the past client, we have a program where we adapt the buyer on a piece of property. What if you were to take an area and every time a deal closed, you called the buyer after the transaction closed, congratulated and welcomed them to the area, that you're kind of the area specialist and you want them to be happy with the area. If they have any questions, if they have any things that you can help them with, and you're going to send them information about what's going on in their marketplace. Adopt everybody else's buyer. I have a new category, everybody. Did you guys get that? Did anybody understand that? Miguel understood it. Okay, Tess, I see your eyes light up. All right. You guys can work distressed NODs. I'm not going to say don't work that. I never did. I never did in my career. I never taught my agents how to work that. It's too depressing for me. Okay. I don't want to dwell in their misery. They don't want to sell the home. But if you're going to go after NODs, don't go after the listing directly. Nobody wants to sell. It's the absolute worst situation in the world. They are embarrassed in front of their children, in front of their wife or husband, that they're losing their house. What is there anything more terrible feeling than that? That's horrible. But if you're going to call them, then be a resource. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I specialize in helping people keep their houses. Can I come over and meet with you and see what's going on and what's happening? And maybe we can do some kind of a modification. Maybe we can do some kind of information. Maybe we could talk to your lender, maybe. And then, of course, after you talk with them and find out the story, sometimes you're going to be able to help. Sometimes, wow, I can really be helpful here. And sometimes you can't. And even though you've exhausted everything, they appreciate your effort. And if they have to put the house on the market to try and get whatever equity's left in there, you're their choice. Does that make sense? So don't go in like a vulture. Go in like a helper.
Neil, I use them the just listed, just sold script for them. It's a way into them. If they don't want to talk, they next, right?
That's fine. However you get in, that's a way to identify it. But don't go, please, guys and gals, don't go in to get the listing directly. Go in to be a helper, be a resource. Try to help them keep the house. Adriana.
Yes, I'm going to share briefly my recent experience. One of those NODs. I've been back and forth for 90 days. And at the beginning, obviously, they didn't want it to sell. So, but to make sure they are making the right decision, I asked, risking the listing 3 times. 3 times if they were 100% sure they want to sell. And they say yes, because I agree with you. At some point, I feel bad for them. It's like I was stealing, I feel stealing their house. I say, no, I don't want that for them. I want to make sure they're making the right decision.
Good. Well, everybody's got to, we all have to do the right thing here. All right. So a lot of good ideas, a lot of things you can plug into. Let's move on. I've still got 6 or 8 ideas that you might want to hear. How about during the week open houses? So some of you don't have listings. I get it. But some agents have listings. In fact, some agents have more listings than they can handle. So my suggestion is go talk to them and offer your services to hold the house open during the week. Because they might want to hold it over the weekend, but you can hold it open during the week. And right now, people are driving around, and if it's a decent house in a decent neighborhood, if you get somebody to stop by, let's say between noon and 2, that's a buyer, everybody. Hello? And if you get somebody to stop by between noon and 2, and they're showing up at the house, they already know interest rates are high. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So you already have a potential buyer who's showing up that's interested in doing something quickly, and they're driving the streets during the holiday. I would say that's a have to buy, not a want to buy. Would you guys agree or disagree?
Agree.
Absolutely. And write this down. You only want to be dealing with have to sells and have to buys, not want to buys and want to sells. And you better learn the difference really fast. Want to buy, want to sell. Okay. But you can get somebody to hold an open house on today, certainly tomorrow, and do that for a couple hours. Get some signs out there and you will pick up some business. All right. So let's talk about 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos, predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is something we've been working on for a long time, but my predictive analytics as compared to computer analytics is I have 50 years worth of experience and I've seen just about anything and everything. And the computers are spitting out, maybe these people will get divorced, maybe they won't. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what's probably going to happen in the marketplace from this perspective. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in Los Angeles County, the average single family home goes on the market every 22 to 24 years. Did you guys know that? LA County, 22 to 24 years before that homeowner puts that house on the market. That's why there's no inventory. Number one. Number two, Orange County is 20 to 22 years and Inland Empire is 17 years. Okay. So I had to find a way years ago to figure out how I'm going to help our agents get listings when sellers are taking 20, 22 years to turn properties. We're not going to live that long. Okay. We can't afford to do that. So here's what we did. We went out and focused on what I call 2-bedroom, 2+ bath condominiums. Owner occupied. Write that down. It's very important. Owner occupied. There's tens of thousands of these in any community. Owner occupied 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos. Who's the buyer for that kind of stuff?
First time home buyer.
New couples, newly
Single
pregnant,
guys.
single guys. Okay, but single guys meet single girls, and then what happens?
Millennials.
Okay, then we have millennials, but single guys meet single girls and they move in together, then they have a baby, and then all of a sudden they have 2 babies, and now this 2-bedroom wonderful condo, and it has all these steep stairs in it, is too small and too dangerous. You guys with me? Those condominiums are turning every 6 to 8 years, every 6 to 9 years. So instead of 22 years, it's turning a third faster. Okay, not selling faster, but turning a third faster. You guys with me on this?
Yep.
We've been working this for years. 2-bedroom, 2-bath condominiums. Now, what we found is when you're working this and you get the listing, 30 to 35% of the time, you're going to have a buyer for that because you're working that neighborhood and you have buyers, either investors or other single guys and gals. So 30, 35%, you can double end it. 30, 35% of the time, you can take that seller and move them up to a single family home or a larger condominium. 3 commissions, even if they're $500,000 each, you're talking about between $30,000 and $45,000 in commission on those 3 deals. Not too bad, right?
No.
You can go out and get a listing on a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. Start working it today. Start working it today. Start working it today. Questions on those? Okay. I wrote down here, another predictive analytics is 2-story, also owner occupied. 2-story, owner occupied, where the owners have lived in the property 25 to 30 years. Now, the predictive analytics on this is we know when the current owner bought the property, they were in their 40s, mid 40s to maybe 50. And if you take a 40-year-old and you add 30 years to it, you now have an owner who's 70 years old. If a person is 70, 75 years old, what hurts when they go up and down the stairs?
Knees.
Their knees hurt. They really do. And people become have to sells, not just want to sells. That is a great source of business for all of you. You can identify the 2-story homes by either walking the neighborhoods and seeing, okay, that's a 2-story, or in LA or California, there's a software called Robo Gateway that a lot of the title companies have, and it indicates along with other things whether a property or a tract, which of the houses are 2-story. And then you could start working on those, okay? Okay, questions on anything I've covered so far? I think that's 10 ways that you guys can make business, start creating business today.
I don't have a question, Neil, but just to give you some validation, one of our agents in Marietta did just took a listing by prospecting 2-story homes bought 20 or more years ago. And they utilized the script. They were all excited that they went and took that listing. So there you go.
Hey, truthfully, this stuff works, everybody. I'm not polishing your boots. If you were my sons, you were my daughters, or you were my grandchildren, I would be giving you the same advice. I don't have advice on the side for them. I'm giving you the same advice I would give my loved ones and have. Okay? So you're getting the real deal here. Don't think you're not. What do you have to do, though? You have to take what?
Action.
Action. Take action. Take action. All right, I'm going to open it up for a few minutes for questions.
I have a question, Miriam. So what do I bring with me when I visit expired? Do I bring just like my card, anything else that you suggest?
No, I would look, we have one of the scripts I was just looking at this morning. One of our scripts says that we noticed your home came up as an expired, and we recently sold a home that we had multiple offers on. Now, when I say that, we might not have one as a company, you might not have one as an agent, but there's nothing wrong with you saying, researching it and saying that a property in the neighborhood just was sold and it had multiple offers, if in fact you know that for a truth. So call the listing agent and ask the question when the property sells, hey, Susie, just want to know, do you guys have a bunch of multiple offers on that? Oh my God, we did. You know, we had 3, we had 4, we had 27, whatever it is. Great. So all you're doing is sharing a truth of the marketplace. Are you guys with me on this?
Okay.
Okay. So then you can just share that that property sold and that you specialize in houses that didn't sell, and you'd like to sit down and have a conversation with them. Does that make sense to you, Miriam?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's what I would do with that.
Mhm.
All right, good
Okay.
question. Anyone else?
Hey Neil, I just wanted to say first that you're, how you say, 50 years in the business. You're still very excited about when you're talking about it. and my question is also we can you say also we can go door knocking to the old expireds you suggest?
Absolutely.
Okay. The same tactics and everything? What you
Yeah.
have say for the expireds? Okay.
Generally, yeah.
Thank you.
In fact, a year ago, it's just strategies. Okay. A year and a half ago, properties, there was a few more properties on the market than there are now. And somebody might have had their home on the market a year and a half ago, and it didn't sell. But today, there's probably 40% less properties on the market. The number of buyers is still high, even though the interest rates are high. There's a lot of our buyers that at 5.5%, 6%, 6.5% are okay with those numbers. They got used to it. I think they're actually playing with the marketplace. They jump the numbers. They go from 3 to 8, and everybody freaks out. Then the numbers drop down, and they go to 5, and everybody goes, "Oh, okay, I can breathe again." Then they go from 5 to 7. They go, "Ah!" Then they take it to 6, and everybody goes, "Oh, these are great." I think there's a strategy there, but I can't prove it. Okay, other questions?
So Neil, quick question. You talk about the forecasting, right? The 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and the 25, 30 years old home, 2-story. Any other tips or any other criteria to go after to have a better chance to get listings?
Well, who asked this question? Who is it?
It's Miguel.
Miguel, you mean other ideas or other ideas within those 2 ideas?
Other new ideas.
Okay, Miguel, let me share something with you, okay? If you do what I just suggested in a massive thing, you won't have time for other ideas, okay?
Sure.
Don't look for another shiny object. Do this. I promise you it works. I promise it will work when you work it. Okay? So this is, and I appreciate you bringing this up, Miguel, because a lot of times it's we want the next new idea. Well, it's the old idea that works. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been going after expireds and for rent by owners and 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos and these 2-story homes consistently for 40 years, 50 years. And agents that we work with and we coach and we train, once we can get them doing some of this stuff, are making $1 million plus a year. The ones that keep jumping around, those are the ones that are making 200, 300 a year. They're making money. Don't get me wrong. That's not bad money, but not compared to when you can make $1 million a year. And that's what we do. We help agents make $1 million a year if they want to. Justin.
Yeah, so specifically regarding the 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos or the 2 stories, well, I guess 2 questions to it, and I'll just say them real quick. One, how many contacts would you recommend making in that particular source each day? And secondarily, after you engage somebody on the first contact, if they're not immediately interested, are you using the same non-owner occupied strategy of creating a database of them and dripping?
Absolutely. Especially if they give you any feeling that they might want to sell, just not now. We're talking about the 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos. Okay, here's the scenario. If I've got a bachelor in there and he's not, looking to get married or he doesn't have a couple kids already, blah, 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 then I don't know if he's moving so fast. But if I've got a husband and wife and the wife is pregnant, those people are moving. Now, they might not be moving today and they might not be moving at the end of the year, but those people are moving. Does that make sense? And I'm going to track those people because that's a deal in the happening. Does that help you? Justin?
Yes, it does. Thank you. And the contacts per day? Yep. Neil, can
Well,
you hear me?
right now, okay, so right now, I'm recommending no less than 40 contacts a day, but 20 have to be done in the morning before lunch. 40, minimum of 40 contacts a day, and 20 have to be done before lunch. That makes sense? Jack, how's that working for you?
It opened up the afternoon for more productive activities.
Isn't that great?
Well, I got 30 in the morning instead of 30 throughout the day.
Right, right, because that's what happens.
Neil said 40, Jack.
I know, but Jack,
I'm talking about this year.
Jack has children. Okay.
Slacker.
All right. Justin, good question. Great question. Hope that helps. All right. What other questions you guys have? Come on, come on. I want you to do business.
Neil, what really works too, and we've been doing this, is that, let me tell you, we prospect, Ruth and I, in the evening, and I think we even have Martin. We start from like 5 o'clock. If I start at 5, I finish like around 7. If I start at 6, I finish like around 8. You get to talk to a lot more people.
Okay.
And also on Saturday, we do this, unless I have an appointment, from 10 to 12. It
Awesome.
really works. Whoever
Well,
wants to join on Saturday, we're here. Josie,
So, Tess,
you know.
do me a favor. Put your contact information in the chat box. And if
Okay.
agents want to call and get involved in that,
Okay.
I think it's great. I think any accountability we can create for each other is fantastic.
All
You
right.
want to know what Mike Ferry's key to his deal for 6 months for $50,000, why that works so well at a high level, besides that people are paying $50,000. It works because every single day, the question is, did you take a listing or do you have an appointment? Every single day. And if you don't, why not? And then you call back tomorrow. Well, because I had this, then get that out of your life. What he does in the first month is get all the crap out of your life. You know, well, I got to babysit the kids. No, you didn't. No, you don't. You just paid me $50,000. You could have paid one hell of a babysitter for $50,000. So clearly, let's get this done. Okay? That's what it is. He takes away our excuses from the people, and then all of a sudden, they get 2 listings a month. They get 4 listings a month. They start to get 8 listings a month. Dan, Mom, Robert, what's he at? 15, 18 listings a month right now?
16.
16 listings a month. I used to have a whole office that took 16 listings a month years ago. Come on, you guys.
Sorry, Neil, did you say Robert is taking 16 listings a
Dan
month?
Mom. Dan
Yes. Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
Robert.
And I'm waiting for my commission checks to come in.
Mom. That's right. Robert, they're in the mail.
They're in the mail.
Wow,
Hey, Neil,
that is incredible.
if I may piggyback upon what Tess
Well-
said, we're doing a Tuesday and Wednesday evening prospecting sessions too, from 5 to 7, 7:30, pretty much every Tuesday and Wednesday. Anybody like to join?
There you go. So real quick, just on the Dan Mum thing, 16 listings a month is a lot. And yet to go off what Neil's been talking about for the last hour, every time I see Dan, and I'm sure Neil's the same thing for you, he can't thank us enough.
Right.
For the suggestions, for the coaching, for the thing, because he obviously doesn't work for us, but he gets calls from us, and he calls us and asks questions and is things along those lines. So, you want to know how a guy does things like that. It's just doing the exact things that we were just talking about. Because we do. I get a call. I got a call from him the other day, just saying, "Hey, it's my best year ever. Wanted to say thank you."
Right.
I'm like, I didn't do anything, but you're welcome.
Right. Right. Well, and what's interesting is Dan doesn't work for us, and you guys do, and you don't take advantage of it. Hello. Hello. And the ones that aren't working for us, hello, what's taking you so long? Okay. We're not bad people. And okay, maybe we charge a little bit too much commission, which we don't, but maybe you think we do. And oh my God, I have to pay that 8% to Century 21. Oh my God, oh my God. But if we could help you do 20, 25 real deals more a year, is that really a problem? Hello, come on, stop it. You know, Mike Ferry says, oh, what the hell did he say? He said it again last week. I don't have it in front of me. Anyway, so here's a question. Okay. Here's a question. When I coach with Mike, he asks our coaching thing. So what problem gets better when you stop making money? Okay. What problem in your life gets better when you stop making money? And what he's saying is when you stop prospecting and looking for business, et cetera, you're going to stop making money, right? Right. If you stop making money, what problem in your life gets better because of that? Anything? Is that a great question or what? So get to work. Do what you're supposed to do. I don't have anything else. Anybody else have anything they want to add to this or?
Hey, Neil, I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you something because I see that you are taking a lot of notes. And I see like, I'm here 2 years taking the notes. I have a bunch of these notes pads. Do you have any system that you systemize your notes that you have?
Do I have a system for keeping the notes?
Yeah, like how you like to research.
I have a file cabinet with all the notebooks I've ever had from Mike Ferry. It fills up 3 drawers. That's my note system with Mike. Because the next time I go to the event, he'll remind me of something I forgot and I'll go to work on it. Okay? Honest, that's how it works. Just keep going to events, keep listening to stuff. You know, some of you know that I have there's 13 or 1400 YouTube videos of sales meetings and talks I've done up there. I think it's under Neil Schwartz /training in YouTube. If you're ever looking for something to do at 3 o'clock in the morning because you can't sleep, perfect material for you. And if you find something, a video that you particularly got something from, forward it to me. Because, you know, the neat thing is I've learned that you can take the background out and insert me in a different background. And now I'm really dangerous, you guys. I might put myself in front of the White House next week. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Any other questions?
Neil, just quickly, I want to share that the YouTube videos are very, very effective and helpful. I always have them switched on while I'm prospecting in the background. And so that's a great motivator.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cindy, you asked about how do you get a copy of the scripts? Unmute yourself. Not Sandy, Cindy. Sandy, you have a copy of the scripts.
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Right.
Yes, Neil. Yeah, I asked.
Okay. So what we do you work for Century 21 Masters?
I do.
Oh, perfect. Then Robert will send you a copy of those scripts later today or tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
It's what happens is if you don't work for Masters, then and you come to the role play for 2 weeks in a row, then we'll get you a copy of the script. But you know, it's we're not looking for people that just come in and out, blah blah blah. We figure if you're here for a couple of weeks, you're here to stay, and that's great for us. It's great for you. We need your energy just like you need our energy.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay. We will be role playing every day this Monday through Friday next week. And we'll be role playing Monday through Friday the following week. Monday through Thursday for sure. I'm not sure how Friday is going to work because I have a hunch that some of you are going to be off Friday to Monday or Friday to the following Monday. Who knows? I don't know. But don't go away. Make your phone calls. Talk to people. Set appointments. All right. You can do it in the morning. And if you need to do family stuff in the afternoon, then so be it. But this is not a time to stop taking your foot off the pedal. Right, Tim?
Yeah. Right, Tim.
All right. Okay. I don't have anything else. Robert, you want to take it away for the...
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Neil.
Neil.